Hello everyone, this is Dave again. I've got a game here I played on playchess.com. It's a Blitz game of 9 minutes plus 2 seconds is the time control. We're looking at the Torre Attack. The ECO code is D03. The themes will be development, square and color weaknesses, planning of which side of the board to play on, discovered and doubled attacks. So let's get started. I'm playing white and I open with D4, knight to F6, knight to F3, D5, bishop to G5. This is the square where the bishop is developed in the Torre Attack. It indirectly puts pressure on black's queen. E6, knight at B to D2, H6. Black puts the question to the bishop, whether I should capture or retreat. Also note that this pawn move weakens the light squares here around the black's king side. This will be an important factor later in the game. I just wanted to point it out to you now, kind of keep an eye on this. Bishop to H4. I decided to retreat the bishop, getting a pin on the black queen. I could have captured the knight or even retreated to F4, but like I said, I like to keep that pin intact. Bishop to E7, of course, is easily broken. E3, black castles. Bishop to D3. The bishop wants advantage of these layers. That's why it's also the normal square for the bishop to develop in this particular opening on the D3 square. B6. Looks like black wants to develop his bishop to B7, maybe drop his knight into E4, forcing the exchange of the dark squared bishops. C3, and black plays C5, putting pressure on my pawn center. I play knight to E5. This is the thematic square for the knight. This is a very strong post for this knight. It puts pressure on the light squares in black's position. White is very happy if he can get this knight into the E5 square in this opening. Black plays C4, attacking my bishop. Also note that this move closes the center for the two players. This will signify that which side of the board each player should be playing on. Black should be playing on the queen side. This is where he has the most space. This is where by pushing this pawn, he decided this is where he wants to play at. And white will be playing the king side. This is where he's got most of his pieces. He also has a lot of space control there also. I retreat my bishop to C2. Black makes another pawn move, A5. I castle. Another pawn move by black, B5. F4, I reinforce my knight here on E5. Also, this weakens my E4 square. Like I said earlier, black could develop his bishop to B7, bring his knight to E4, exchange the dark squared bishops, and he'd have a fine game. But he didn't do this. He continued his pawn moves. He attacked my C3 pawn. This is a normal move where you want to attack the base of a pawn chain. I play G4. Here, note that I'm not afraid to advance my pawns because the center is blocked. Play, like I said, is on the king side. This is where I want to continue my play. Thus, I push my G pawn with the idea of opening up the king side for my pieces. Black makes another pawn move, and I could have won this pawn. Bishop takes. He could not retake with the rook. He'd end up losing it. And also note that black still has 3 pieces undeveloped: his rook, his knight, and his bishop. They're still sitting on their home squares. I have all my pieces developed, and this is one of the reasons why I'm able to win this game as easily as I did. But I continue, like I said, my plays on the king side. I push my pawn to G5. He retakes. I retake with my pawn, which is the stronger of the two captures. I want to get this knight from defending the H7 square. This is that. I've got this bishop pointing to this square. I can bring my queen up for a possible mate. So this is by capturing with the pawn instead of my bishop. I am forcing this knight to move. He could have played it to g4. I would have continued capture. He would have played g6. Maybe bishop takes g6, pawn takes, knight takes, and then rook to f5. And white still has a very strong attack. I'm up 2 pawns. I could have traded rooks here, bring my queen to h5 with possible check here, and just had a good attacking chances. But black responded by, in the game, he dropped his knight back to h7, and I played queen to h5. Now here I missed a very good mating possibility. If I would have played bishop takes h7, he would have responded king takes. I would have played queen to h5 check. He would have dropped the king back. And then I would have played knight to f7, threatening mate at h8. If he retook with his rook, I would have retaken with my rook, pushing my pawn forward, and then playing my queen to h7 with checkmate. But I missed that in the game, and I played queen to h5 instead. Black plays g6, and now I'm going to, I shattered his king side with this knight move here. He responds by playing bishop takes g5. He could have retaken with his pawn. I'm sorry. He could have retaken with his pawn, and I would have just continued with bishop takes g6 check. He would have been forced to move his king, and bishop takes h7 checkmate. Well, he's seen this, of course, and that's why he decided to play g6, attacking my queen. And like I said, I retook with my knight. He takes the pawn with his bishop. Bishop takes g5. And now this is the move that ends the game. I played knight takes e7 check. He moves his king. Of course, there's checkmate here at h7. You can see that I've got complete control of the light squares. The knight gives check. Black is either forced to move his king or capture the knight, and he recaptured with his queen, and I took with my queen with checkmate. Well, that was the game. It was a very quick win. I won it in 19 moves, and there again, please note that Black has 3 pieces still sitting on the home square at the end of the game: his rook, his knight, and his bishop. In effect, he played this entire game 3 pieces down. Now, that is one of the reasons why I was able to win it as easily as I did. He made a lot of pawn moves, and these all wasted time where I was able to develop my pieces and continue my attack. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed, and thank you very much for listening, and hope you see you next time.